Welcome to Connect Canyons, a podcast sponsored by Canyon School District. This is a show about what we teach, how we teach, and why. We get up close and personal with some of the people who make our schools great. Students, teachers, principals, parents, and more. We meet national experts too. Learning is about making connections. So connect with us.
Hi, you're listening to Connect Canyons. This is Jody Guennessy, your host. I'm here at the Canyons District Facilities building with Custodial Grounds Coordinator Kevin Kelsen.
How you doing?
Yeah, doing great. Thanks. How are you? Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, it's been a good day so far. Good week.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we like the good weeks.
Let's hope it keeps going.
Absolutely.
So we have the custodial celebration coming up. October 2nd is the National Day to honor custodial workers.
It's now, so I've been out in the schools doing that. We've been subbing a lot because we're short staff when it comes to subbing in the schools. So I had the opportunity to sub over at Oakdale last week, and it was fun. It was fun to go back and kind of get back into that routine again, if it was only for a day. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I look forward to going back. But just everything that custodial grounds has to do with, we have our finger on it. We in the buildings, the maintenance to IT to custodial to rentals, custodial has their finger on all of that, and they're involved in it heavily. And so we're here in a large part just to support the AFMs and the custodial staff that are out in those buildings.
My dad was a custodian at Bonneville Junior High for like 30 years. He joked that it took him 3 decades to get out of junior high. But no, I have a lot of respect for it because, you know, I know how hard the custodians work. And, I mean, they're kind of behind the scenes heroes, and it's somewhat of a thankless job. And
Right.
So you said that we're
Big time. All in all, we're 20 FTE short. That includes even down here out of our rover pool, which are the ones that go out and sub into the schools, so our elementary AFMs can take vacations and try to help in the secondary schools when they're short. Typically we run 7 and we have 2. So that's why myself and my team, Joe, Brent, and Todd, have been subbing, because we just don't have the staff, right? And the school's got to have coverage. That's top priority. And then part-time fluctuates so much. We have about 100% turnover with our sweepers and our part-time staff every year, and we have about 500 part-time employees counting our sweepers. So it turns over. We do sweeper training twice a year, or twice a month, every other Tuesday of the month, and we probably have 40 to 50 sweepers in there, and they've only got to take it once. So that's how much turnover we have in like 2 weeks, 40 to 50 kids, yeah.
So 500 part-time employees. How many full-time employees?
20. We're 20 down.
Oh, 20 down, but overall, how many do we have?
So counting all of us in the office, we're about 147 full-time employees that I technically am over, plus the 500 part-time.
Wow, that's quite the crew.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, you must, especially with them being understaffed, I mean, must be proud of what they're able to do. Like
Absolutely.
The district office where I work is always spick and span, and they're just, I mean, working their tails off.
No, they've stepped up.
Keeping a smile on their faces too.
Right. Yeah, keeping a positive attitude. But they really have. They've risen to the occasion. It's always been our philosophy for years, just even myself coming up through the ranks and the way I was trained, is really bottom line. You just do what you have to do to get the job done, regardless of who shows up for work that day, right? Students still have to be in the seats, and the teachers have got to teach, and the sporting events go on, and rentals are going to happen. None of that stops when we're short-staffed. So the AFMs and their custodial staff, they really have risen to another level. So yeah, it's been good to watch. It's been good to see. A lot of overtime. Don't tell Leon.
No. We'll keep that between the two of us. So, so yeah, you mentioned the AFMs, the assistant facilities managers.
Right.
What exactly is does every school have one of an assistant that is kind of oversees, like maybe the lead custodian, you might call them?
Yeah.
Head custodian.
So every school has an AFM, an assistant facility manager, because technically the principal would be the facility manager. So the AFM, head custodian, is kind of the terminology we used back in Jordan days. The title change came 5 or 6 years ago because it was just kind of more in line of what our job was, right? It was a lot more than cleaning. So as the assistant facility manager, every elementary has one, and then they just have their sweeper crew at night. Middle schools have one, and then they have what is called a lead custodian, who is afternoons, and they come in at about 2:30. Kind of differs, but most schools run a 2:30 to 11 p.m. shift to handle all the after-school activities, to really get all the school clean classrooms. And then there's 2 assistants that come in with that lead. So that lead custodian is kind of the afternoon supervisor. And then, like we talked, the high schools are staffed at 10, so they've got the AFM in the morning, then they have a lead that is in the afternoons that kind of oversees all the afternoon events, always under the AFM's direction. Some of the times the AFM will stay, just depending on the size of the event and what's going on.
What would you say the biggest challenge that our custodial staff has, aside from maybe being a little understaffed? What just the routine of the job? What do you think maybe the biggest challenge, and maybe the biggest reward as well?
So really, there's multiple things, but the biggest challenge, the rentals and the sporting events, is really every year just seems to climb more and more and more. There's so much. Our high schools never shut down. Like they are cities that are just running. The alarm really only gets set maybe Saturday night to Monday morning, yeah, early. Sunday's really the only day that no one's there. Rentals will go till midnight, 1, 2 in the morning by the time a custodian is out of there, and that started at 7 a.m. on Saturday morning. And same thing throughout the week, right? The school opens at 5 a.m. The alarm might not be set till midnight or 1 or 2. And so there's just a lot going on, trying to keep up with it, to juggle all the needs of the schools while trying to get the schools cleaned, while maintaining the grounds. It's just a lot. And then these newer buildings, right? A lot of them, we're adding 30, 40, 50,000 square feet, right, to a building.
Some big buildings, yeah. A lot of stairs, too, in some of those new high schools.
Stairs and glass. So, but like we said, all of them, they've risen to the occasion. They've owned it. They've really taken ownership of their building, and it's been great to see.
What's the hardest part of the building to keep clean? Is it like the cafeteria, the restrooms, hallways, or all of the above?
So depending on what school, high schools, I would say the sports areas, just because they're used nonstop, right? All the sports that go on in the high schools, there's always someone in the weight rooms and in the gyms and in the field houses, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, lacrosse, soccer. It's ever rotating, so trying to schedule time to get in there and get cleaned. The restrooms are our biggest concern. Even during this short staff, that's the thing we tell our AFMs, that has to be cleaned every night. If you got one person there, they're cleaning restrooms, right? Then if you got 2 people there, put them doing something else, emptying trash, but the restrooms have to be cleaned every night.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Highest priority.
One of my favorite things when I'm talking to custodians in our district, I like to ask them if they've ever seen any extra, paranormal activity, I guess I should say it. And it surprises me how many have claimed to have seen a ghost, or have heard a ghost, or at least like strange bumps in the night. And have you ever experienced that or heard the tales of?
I haven't heard too much. I will tell you, at Bingham, the Bingham High, now in Jordan District. When I first started there, we had a graveyard crew, and we had one individual that had been at the school for years. He was an older gentleman, and there was a tell there at Bingham that it was haunted by ghosts. The media center that was in the middle of the school, it was bordered by hallways, had windows at the very top of it, and there was some employees that would walk the halls at night and would not look up. Really had to move to Tier 2 this school year, but it's still on everyone's mind. It's still there. It's been stressful, and it still is, but they're handling it the best they can.
So obviously the more hands would be helpful.
Absolutely.
Where would you suggest people to go to look for custodial jobs?
So yeah, the Canyons District website, canyonsdistrict.org, job seekers, and you can find us on there. We have a lot of postings on there. We've got magnets on our cars with our phone number, with my admin assistant's phone number to call if that works, and we can walk you through it. We advertise on Indeed. We advertise on KSL. We're trying to we got banners hung up in a lot of our schools, just advertise them. But the best way is just go to our website, canyonsdistrict.org, and go to Human Resources, Job Seekers, and fill out an application, and we will be sure to contact you.
Well, and it's fun. You get to know anybody, but our custodians just, they all have their own stories, and just a lot of hardworking, just salt of the earth type people.
Oh, yeah.
And
just that's it, down to the earth. They come to work, they do their thing, they don't ask for much, right? And a lot of it's behind the scenes. A lot of it's, we've all heard the phrase before, no one knows what we do until we don't do it, because you don't see it a lot. You see the window dressing, the halls vacuumed, and the windows cleaned, but the mechanical end behind it, right? The chillers and the boilers and the fan rooms and the grounds and everything that goes into that, and the rentals and taking care of that. There's a lot that goes into that stuff that's just behind the scenes, and they just go about their day, they go about their business, and they just get it done.
Well, Canyons District is certainly appreciative of what you and your crew do for our schools and our buildings and facilities and the grounds and everything. Just make things clean and comfortable to be in. So thank you so much. The best part of Custodial Day is it's on Sunday, so everybody gets the day off.
Everyone gets the day off, right? I'll be in the hills hunting, so that's how I'll spend my National Custodial Day. So
well, happy hunting, and
yep.
Thank you for indulging us and letting us invade your office here for a short interview. And
no problem, my pleasure. Glad to have you.
Thanks again. Thanks for listening to Connect Canyons. This is Jody Guennessy. Our guest has been Kevin Kelsen. Thank you, and tune in again.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Connect Canyons. Connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at Canyons District, or on our website, canyonsdistrict.org.